Hey, what's going on, guys? Back with another live. Just going forward, guys, I'll probably do these in the morning and evening because what I want to do now is actually bolster, not bolster, that's the wrong word for it. I actually want to go through all of the MSAs one by one, over a million in population for now, right? So initially, I want to share this with you. I have this sheet here, and it basically has every MSA on here, and I have it sorted out by the ones that have over a million population. I'm just going to go in alphabetical order. Some of these may not be really great to target as an investor, but I think it's worth going through the exercise because once we do, we'll actually know what we have here. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I'm sounding good on YouTube, and then I'll make sure I'm sounding good on my Facebook group, and then we will go ahead and move forward. And so whatever I don't get over or go over this evening, I will or today in the morning, I'll do this in the evening because I only have about an hour to work with this morning. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. But again, I need to make sure my audio sounds good. All right, great. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. So what I'm doing right now, again, for the people that just joined, I'm analyzing every single market in the United States, but we're going to be starting with the Atlanta MSA. Okay, guys? All right. Hey, thank you so much, Jermaine. So good to see you, my friend. Always consistent. Thank you to the others that joined this morning. Again, guys, 9 a.m. Eastern time, and then 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern time is when I'm going to be doing this basically live. So it'll probably take me a while to go through both markets or the whole market sometimes in the morning. So I'll probably chop it up, do part of it in the morning, and then do the list pull in the evening. So do the market analysis in the morning and list pull in the evening. So again, guys, over a million, these MSAs have over a million people in it. Why do we need a million people? Again, guys, the more people you have in that market, the more housing units you have. The more housing units you have, the more that you're going to be able to, the more people you're able to target, right? And the more people you're able to target, you can actually filter your list down a lot more. So a niche list in, let's just say Charleston, South Carolina, where I'm from, pre-foreclosures, I may only have about 300 people on that list, but in the Atlanta MSA, I may have 4 or 5,000. Okay, so which one's better to target? You guys know the answer to that. So for me personally, I like targeting these larger MSAs. The more zip codes I have, the better. Guys, I look at all these pretty much the same, over a million in population. Well, depending on some of the data I see, some of these MSAs are the same. For instance, Cleveland and Cincinnati have similar median sale prices from when I last looked at them. And so these are basically tomato. You go choose to target Cleveland or Cincinnati, and it'll basically be the same. But again, if I'm targeting Austin and trying to determine if I want to target Austin versus like a Jacksonville, Florida, or Kansas City, Now, Austin is really affluent. So I'm going to share with you guys what I think the highest and best use of each MSA is, which ones I think are best for wholesaling, and which zip codes I would target. So let's go ahead and jump into it, okay? All right, so I have my other sheet here. It's a zip code analysis sheet. I'm just going to share my entire screen here with you all. And the first thing I want to do, this sheet has all of the, this sheet has all of my markets I've analyzed on it, a ton of markets. But the first one I'm going to start off with is Atlanta. So my first step is I need to figure out all the zip codes in this particular MSA, okay? So I'm just going to go to Google. I'm just going to type Atlanta MSA. That's Metropolitan Statistical Area. Now, Atlanta's huge, guys, and I might break this down into sections, but for me personally, I just want to see everything in Atlanta, right? So Atlanta, Sandy Springs, Roswell, that's like Atlanta could be considered one area. Sandy Springs could be considered another. Roswell could be considered another. I don't want like any micro MSAs, right? Or any MSA or any counties that are in the in like the micro area. So, but all these are in the Atlanta MSA area. So that's like a lot of data. You could target this for a year and still not scratch the surface, I think, even with your niche list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and start putting this on my sheet here. And again, guys, this may get a little tedious, but I'm showing you guys if I were to do this as a new investor, or even if I were pulling a list for you or for myself, these are the exact steps I would do. This is something I came up with myself, just this whole process. And I do this every time I'm going to analyze a new market. Anytime somebody new works with me too, and I'm teaching them this process, we start here. So Fulton, Gwinnett, Cobb. I'm going to take all of these counties and put them on all the zips from all these counties and put them on another spreadsheet or another sheet here, right here. So I'm going to do, the first one is Fulton. All right. So I want to make sure, I want to make sure I'm just getting the Georgia ones, okay? So here I'm just going to do GA. All right. And then this is going to give me all the ones in Georgia. Oops. All the ones in Georgia. And then put these on another spreadsheet. Boom. Okay. I'm going to remove the filter here. Remove this filter. And then the next one is Gwinnett. Gwinnett, 2 N's. Okay, so with Gwinnett, there's only one county in the United States named Gwinnett County, and that's in Georgia, which is good. Okay, next we got Cobb. And guys, I'm teaching this and showing you guys this because I think this right here is a foundation of real estate investing. Whether you're wholesaling, whether you're flipping homes, guys, marketing is it. And anybody that's been following me for a while, you guys know my previous DBA for my company was called CC Garland Marketing. Build to scale real estate is still focused on marketing, right? I haven't changed. I just changed my name of my business just so if I want to sell it one of these days, I don't want my name to be tied to it. DeKalb. So I just did Cobb and then DeKalb. It's next. Okay. Then we have Clayton. Oops, not there. As we go lower and lower here, so there's going to be fewer and fewer zips per county. So we did Cherokee. I may not do all these guys. I may not do all these. I know in Atlanta it's pretty large, and I do want to be able to go through some of the exercise here in our hour we have together. And another thing too, guys, is a lot of people may say, well, can't you just create some software to do this? And for me, I like doing this manually just to know what I have in front of me. I like doing it on Excel because I'm able to comprehend what I'm seeing here, right? If everything's just done manually, you don't really understand the theory behind it. For instance, people that rely heavily on comping tools like PropStream and then other tools used for comping, guys, a lot of those people don't understand how to actually comp out homes. There's no tool that's going to tell you how to specifically comp out homes. There's just not, you know. So I may do things a long way, but again, it lets me know exactly what I'm looking at here. Okay, just making sure this is there. So Cherokee, I'm going to do Forsyth. So Cherokee, Forsyth. So 2. Henry. Paulding. 2 Paulding. And some of these smaller ones, guys, there may actually be some gems in here as far as areas that are gentrifying, area that cash buyers are focused on. But again, we won't know until we actually put it on a spreadsheet and look at, you know, how many homes are sold, what the median sale prices are, the days on market, right? I don't go off of just hunches or assumptions. I used to, but this is a more surefire way of actually knowing, okay, the place I'm targeting and the place I'm going to be putting a lot of marketing resources at, I want to make sure I actually have an area, I'm targeting an area where I know it's going to produce some motivated sellers for one, but also properties we want to target. So the benefit of doing this, guys, is that outside of SEO or PPC or pay per lead is that we don't have to take what we can get. I would say the benefit with doing outbound marketing and pulling a list over PPC, the one big benefit is that we actually go after properties that we want to target. Okay. And this is how we do this. I don't have any properties that I ever target on a list where if there's some motivation where I'm just going to throw the lead away. That rarely, if ever, happens. Okay. All right. Make sure my audio is good. That rarely, if ever, happens. So 922. Atlanta, Coetta. And then the next one we have is, excuse me, guys, I have a sort of a sniffle today. Douglas. Fayette. Almost there, guys. Clear. And if you guys want this zip code analysis sheet, you can go on buildtoscalerealestate.com. As of now, I am giving this away. I may change this in the future, but for now, you go and get it for free. You just got to put your email in. Oops, I did the same thing. Sorry. I have difficulty typing and then multitasking here, so I may just knock these out, guys. So I may be quiet for here in a second. Fayette, GA, Peachtree, cool. Carroll. Newton is next. Clear. Newton. GA. Oxford, perfect. Newton. And then Bartow. Okay, and then the next one we have here is Walton. Yeah, Atlanta's huge, guys. Walton. It's next. Next we have Rockdale. Barrow, Barrow. See, I haven't heard that before. Some people in Atlanta may not even know some of these counties. Again, There may not be really anything in these counties, to be honest, but we just don't know until we look at the data in there. I'd much rather put these smaller, more rural counties on and zip codes on my sheet, like low density, and it just confirms what I know. Or I may be pleasantly surprised and actually see an MSA a county that actually has a lot of activity. So the next one is Spalding. Again, guys, I think too many people are not strategic. Too many investors are not strategic with this approach. Anytime I do a marketing campaign, I know it's going to perform. And I know for me, I've just been doing this for so long that I sort of take it as what am I trying to say here? I just assume my marketing campaigns are going to work. And I wouldn't say I take it for granted. It's just second nature to me. And I think about more of like other issues, right? Finding buyers there, converting these leads, right? What does my funnel look like whenever people come into my business, come into my pipeline, right? How quickly are my acquisitions manager and follow-up specialists touching these sellers? These things. But I tend to forget that a lot of investors they get stuck in this little area right here. That doesn't allow you to scale. Marketing is the foundation, right? So I couldn't even think about focusing on other parts of my business until I got the marketing straight. I did, but a lot of the issues I encountered in my business really came back to a marketing issue. Lumpkin. I'd be surprised if there's more than one county named Lumpkin in the United States. Guys, there's one measly zip code in Lumpkin County. Oh. Okay, Lumpkin. Pickens. This is a common one. I think there's a Pickens in South Carolina. So there will probably be a lot of Pickens counties I got to sort through here. Let's see, South Carolina. So one count. Oh, no, we have about 3 zip codes in Pickens. Harleston. Man, Atlanta is so big, guys. It's crazy. Haralson. Haralson. Dawson is next. Dawson. GA. I don't need to filter this. Okay. It's funny. Butts County. Butts. All right, there's only one Butts County in the whole United States. I would not want to live in an area called in Butts County. Meriwether. MER. Oh, okay, Meriwether. M-E-R. Okay, Meriwether. Meriwether has a handful of zips in it. Morgan. What do you guys think? That's a gender neutral name. Do you guys think of a male or female whenever you hear Morgan as a name? For me, I think Morgan is more of a girl's name. Other than The Walking Dead. I'm actually watching the whole Walking Dead series right now. So I started last month. They have a great character on there named Morgan, one of my favorite characters. Guy's a little loco though. Pike. All right, guys, we're almost finished. So once we do this, then we can start analyzing this whole MSA, okay? Jasper and then Herd. H-E-A-R-D, Herd County. Okay. And then Herd, guys, has 2 zip codes in it, which is great. Okay, cool. Perfect. So I'm going to stop sharing my entire screen now. Okay. Yeah. You know, same thing. I think Morgan's a gender neutral name. I don't really think of. I guess it's who I met recently and who I associate with that name. I guess it depends how many of those that individual you know. So for me, I know a couple Morgans that are women, but I also know some men Morgans. Cool, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and get down and dirty. So I'm going to start filtering here. So I'm going to share my entire screen. So just excuse the affinity mirror here. But you guys won't be able to see my filters that I'm doing if like my sorting, if I don't have it on full screen. Okay, guys. So let's start here. What's the next thing that I do? What is the next thing that I do, guys? First of all, let me just familiarize you guys with the data I have here. So and where I got this data from. So right here, the city, zip code, county, all of this is from Redfin, okay? Give me 1 second, guys. I just have some background noise I need to handle. Just 1 moment. Sorry about that. I had some background noise. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do, guys, is actually tell you guys where this came from, because I paid a guy from Fiverr who scrubbed all this data from Redfin. Okay. And this was back in 2021. And this included the median sale price at the time, the days on market, and the home sold. Now, when I first did this, guys, and I'm going to show you what the market insights look like. There was like there was a lot of fields here that I scraped. And so I'm just going to click Kansas City here. Okay. So initially I scraped the median sale price, number of homes sold, days on market. Also the changeover year. I'm not seeing that here right now, but I think I actually separated as well by single family homes, townhouses, condos. I just include all home types because what I'm really looking for, guys, are just overall trends. The numbers matter, but only as much as they matter in the order as when they come up when I sort them out. So if I sort these fields by single family homes, and then I look at the zips here for Atlanta, and I'm only including single family homes, well, most likely the order, if I sort this as homes sold in ascending order, meaning the lowest amount of homes sold to the greatest, more than likely, it doesn't matter if it's single family homes, townhouses, or condos, or co-ops, these will be in the same order. The numbers will just be different. Okay. So I just include everything. But to be honest, the home types, more than likely, these are going to be 90% of these are going to be single family homes here. Okay. Oh yeah, this is what I was including as well. So I was updating this information: homes with price drops, homes sold above list price, homes with price drops. Any data that you can extract, I included in my initial spreadsheet. So it may look simplified here with just I have how many? 12 rows here, or columns rather. But initially I had about 20, including the EIG.org data. And the EIG.org data is where I got the distress tier of these properties, okay? And I love this data set right here. I love this data set. So if we go to Carroll 30182, we can actually see visually, right? We can see visually where, like, the color and how affluent it is, based off of just where its surrounding area. So the more brown or orange an area is the more distressed it is. The more blue, the more prosperous or affluent an area is. Now, some of you guys may say, well, I want distressed areas. Let's just target all the brown and orange areas. So that was my thought initially, which is why I created this whole spreadsheet, because it's tempting to do that. But over half of the zip codes in the United States are rural. So you can target a distressed area, but it could be a completely rural area. So that's why I go off of the spreadsheet as well. And I look at other factors, mainly home sold and the median sale price. So home sold is going to tell me, okay, is there actually buyer activity here? Are there people, retail buyers and cash buyers, buying in this area? And the median sale price is going to tell me, okay, we know that there's buyer activity here. Is this an affluent area? Meaning, are the people in this area going to be like so wealthy where my message won't resonate with them? And that's something that I had an issue with initially. Whenever I first started marketing, I would do direct mail and I would just blanket all the counties in South Carolina where I first started, in Charleston, all the counties in Charleston, South Carolina. But I wasn't filtering my list by any other criteria. And so I would target people on beaches, with beachfront property and gated communities, in the hood, in blue collar areas. And that was my target demographic. And I ended up wasting so much money on people and property owners that just wouldn't fit the bill at all. Okay. So this allows me to know when I do a marketing campaign, I'm actually targeting my ideal demographic. Again, this is way better. This is the one advantage I think this has over PPC doing this, because I can actually target who I want to target. Okay. So if I were to go to Atlanta, I just get familiar with the area initially. Graphically, I like looking at it, seeing, where more of the affluent areas are. And does that mean I'm not going to target these blue areas? That's not what I'm saying, right? I'm not saying I'm never going to target them. However, I would say this: when I first go in an area, I don't pull more than probably 5 or 10,000 records. I'm not going to do that. Okay. But when I actually start, and so I only pull maybe 5 or 10,000 records. So now it's like, how do I determine which records to target? You see, how do you know which ones to target? Well, that's when we are using this this criteria here to actually figure out, one, which counties to target first, which zips to target in those counties. So that's what we're about to answer. Again, if I were to pull 5 to 10,000 records in Atlanta and I want to have the most success, I want to know, A, what would be the highest and best use of my dollar? Okay. B, which counties should I target first? C, which zip codes in those counties should I target first? All right. And then this evening, what we'll do is we'll actually go over putting the list pool together. So I have about 20 more minutes before my first morning meeting. So we'll just go ahead and run through that now. Let's see if I have any questions. Okay, drop your questions if you have them, guys. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just snooze this here. Okay. I'll go ahead. Also, too, when I first started doing this, guys, what I did is I actually updated line by line this data here in Redfin. So I would go back and forth, and I would just put the zips here. You know what? I think on the market insights, you have to go in, you have to get to it in a circuitous route now. You used to be able to put the zip here and get to this place that I'm on right now. Let me see. If now I'll just do market insights. Golly. Okay. Okay, there we are. Okay, so 30314 GA housing market. And so what I was doing is I would just go line by line, and I would put in 28, 258, 875, 258, 875, and then home sold 54, and then another 61 days on market. Now that's what took me the longest. What I do now is about once a year, I update this. I didn't even update it at all last year. Well, 2021, yeah, I didn't, excuse me, in 2021, in 2022, I didn't update it. I did update it in 2023. I'll probably update it at some point this year as well. But again, you know, I just updated this data here, and look, it's pretty much the same, right? It's pretty much the same. So look, in 2023 in July, it was 276,950 as far as the median sale price. It's 258 here. Home sold last year was 50. This year was 54. And that was for, so that would have been September of 2023. Median days on market, 61. So guys, after doing this exercise, I've done this well over 100 times. I just realized that I could just work with the data I have here. And again, it's more of just like sorting out which zip codes I'm going to choose. It's not like I'm going to have a zip code that has 219 days on market, or excuse me, days on market, and it's going to drop down all the way to this rank right here. That's just not going to happen, right? These trends change gradually over time. You know, you may see high and low fluctuations, but the median basically stays the same year after year. But you'll see large jumps over 2, 3, 4 years, okay, where it may change, and it's worth updating data then. So if you guys just see me working off of this data right here, and you guys go download this sheet as well from my website, just know that, you know, this data, just because it's not all the way updated, that it doesn't have to be, okay? So just from an analyst, and I'm an analytical person, guys, just know that, you know, what I'm telling you is factual. So I wouldn't steer you guys in the wrong direction with that. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to hide this 2021 data. I use this just as reference, just so I can see what the trends look like over time. And the first thing I like doing is looking at my averages. So I'm going to do the Redfin sale price average. But first, before I do that, I'm going to freeze the top pane. Okay. And then I'm going to do an average here. So average of all the median sale prices is going to be 388,710. $388,710. Okay. And then the average for the days on market is going to be okay, 32. Where's my decimal? Sorry. All right, days on market is going to be 32. My decimal thing will work. Okay. And then my average for my home sold is going to be 114, which is really good. So just as a median, if I were to pick any of these zip codes, on here, the median would be 14. The median of all averages were 115. So I like what I see so far. So in this entire MSA, we have 181 zip codes, which is great. So I know we have a lot of housing units, a lot of data that ultimately, when we go and pull our list, we'll basically have a lot of data to filter. Okay. I know we'll have a lot of niche data if that's your thing to target, guys, as well. For me personally, I don't target super niche data like that, like pre-foreclosures, but I do target tax delinquents. Like that's a really good list I'm targeting. And I put some other filters on that as well. So I like the zip code volume. The days on market the Redfin median sale price is a little bit high. I'll be honest. Not so high, but usually I like being around lower 300s max. But 388, that we could deal with that. We can deal with that. Now, if I were trying to choose a market to go into, would I go in Atlanta right off the bat as a new wholesaler or new investor? I want to do novations or something like that, and I want it to be simple. I wouldn't target Atlanta simply because I know that I'm going to be working against a lot of areas that have probably turned around already, that are prosperous, affluent, or I'm going to be dealing with a lot of competition. Because if I look back in 2021, a lot of these areas probably have gentrified. So let's see what the average median sale price was in 2021. Okay, so we were looking at 275, guys. 275 in 2021. That's really good. And so I was targeting Atlanta in like 2018, 2019, even 2020. And around 2021 to 2022, I did start seeing it got, the median sale price started to increase, and then it just became a little bit more competitive. Personally, I would say my ideal median sale price, if I was going to target an area, and this is based off of how cooperative the sellers are, right? I'm looking at it from a pure seller lead type, cooperation, sort of standard, right? Where these sellers are basically like not going to give you too much grief if you text them. They're not going to be super frustrated if you text them, or even if you call them, and they're not being bombarded by a lot of investors. I would say 250. I like being around 250K as a median sale price. I really like that. But there's not that many MSAs nowadays with this median sale price. Cleveland is one of them, which is why I target Cleveland a lot. Right? That's like one of my main MSAs, and I take anybody that does a marketing campaign with me. As long as I don't have another client there, I target Cleveland. It's really easy to pick up properties there. And another thing too, guys, this number right here, as far as the median sale price, this lets me know how many leads it's going to take me to get a contract. I know in a 275K median sale price area, it'll probably take me around, maybe like 50 leads with cold calling to get a contract. 25, maybe 30 leads with texting. But as we increase our median sale price and that goes up, then guys, those people are going to be more and more savvy. They're going to have more options. They're going to be more fluent. Guys, this doesn't mean we're taking advantage of people that are not resourceful or knowledgeable, but to be honest, the demographic we're targeting, they don't even realize that people want their property. And so we're providing them with resources. We're able to help them out. Okay. We're able to offer them a way out of their situation. A lot of these guys may be behind on taxes, behind on water, electricity bills. They may have a tenant squatting in the property, right? All these things factor into why we want to target people that are lower, our target MSAs where the median sale prices are lower. So it's an inverse relationship. The lower the median sale price, the more cooperative and less savvy your sellers are going to be, and the more that we can help them out. Less resourceful they're going to be, right? The more that we can help them out. The more affluent they are, the more options they have at their disposal. Their cooperation is going to be lower. Does that mean that you can't pick up a deal in $1 million median sale price MSA or $500K? No, guys, it's just going to mean that you have to do more marketing to get a property under contract. But a lot of investors, they pull too small a list in those markets. They are not targeting the right demographic in that market. And so they may say, well, that market sucks, or there's not, basically they're going to be like, I'm wasting my marketing. But they really need to compare that market compared to other lower price MSAs, if that makes sense. Okay. Let me see if I have any questions here. Guys, we have about 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to wrap this up. And then tune back in at 7 o'clock tonight. I'll go over just my list pool and also the zip codes that I'm going to choose. So 388K again, that's decent, right? If you're in the Atlanta MSA, I'm not saying by any means go to a virtual market. I think we have enough zip codes here where we can target some lower tier, some more of like motivated zip codes without having to sacrifice or having to pick up and go to a whole nother market. Now, I would say if there were only like 40 zip codes here, okay, you might want to look at going virtually. But here, we can make it work. There's going to be a lot of zip codes in that 250K and below price range, okay? Days on market. So I always love seeing the days on market really be below 50. But truthfully, guys, around like 45, 40 days on market, in the 30s, that'll be preferable, but definitely below 50 days on market. But that's the danger zone for me. I really like seeing a lot of MSAs where the median, the average of all the median days on market is around 30 to 40, lower 40s at that. Home sold, I really like seeing above 50, but again, that's like bare minimum. Okay. So I really like seeing 100, especially when this data was pulled in July. Guys, 100, the average of all these homes sold is 115. That's going to be the height of the market when I pulled this data in July. So if I'm seeing 50 homes sold and it's like July, that's going to send signals where I'm going to think, well, if it's in July, there were only 50 homes sold in January, there's probably going to be only like 30. So again, that's like my bare minimum of 50, but I like seeing 115. The first thing I do when I'm starting to sort these zip codes out is I'm going to sort these by home sold, greater, basically in descending order. So I want to see the zip code with the greatest home sold up first and then below. Now, I'm going to hide this data here because I don't want to reference that right now. And I'm also going to put a hard filter on the zips with a certain median sale price. So I don't want to see anything above 500K. So I'm going to do less than or equal to 500,000. And so that's going to eliminate this highest ranked zip code here with the most homes sold. But again, this is probably a really suburb type area. There's probably a lot of new builds going on in this area. So whenever I see a lot of homes sold, okay, for a particular month, and then the median sale price is like around 400 or 500K, like this is in the upper 500, proportionally to the average of all the medians. So so this is 388K and this is like 20% or 30% higher than the median sale price averages. Again, if this is really high, that tells me that there's probably a lot of new development in this area. And I don't want to target places that have a lot of new development. Okay. So I'm going to put a filter here. All right. And then as a home sold, I usually like, since I have a lot of zip codes here, I'm going to only look at the zip codes that have more than 50 homes sold. Guys, so some people ask me, well, why don't you put cash buyers on here? Like how many cash buyers are in the area? I used to, but the answer to that question is already answered by looking at how many homes sold are in an area. So if there's 327 homes sold, there's going to be a decent amount of cash buyers. So I used to actually pull that data and put that on here, but I stopped doing that just because it didn't really make sense to put that, because I already answered that question as far as, is there buyer activity in this area? Yes, there's cash buyer activity. All 327 of these homes sold cannot just be retail buyers. All of them can't just be cash buyers. We want a healthy mix because we need our cash buyers to be able to sell the properties to retail buyers. Okay, they're flips. Now, if I look at this and let's just say this median sale price was like $90,000, and then there were 172 homes sold, well, that would tell me that most of those are probably cash. And since this is so low, right, most of those are probably buy, BRRRRs, basically buy, rent, rehab, buy, rehab, rent and refinance properties, or just pure cash properties that people just are turning into rentals. But that's not the case here. Okay, guys, I'm going to pause there. And then what I'm going to do later today is finish sorting through these zip codes and show you guys which ones I'll start off with. And then I'll go ahead and my list pulling tool, one of them, not both of them, just one of my list pulling tools, and actually show you guys which lists I will pull for this. Okay. All right. I will see you guys later today. Again, tune in at 7 o'clock, guys. All right. 7 o'clock p.m.